The origins of psychology. Wundt and introspection. Wundt established the first psychology lab. The aim was to describe the nature of human consciousness, the mind, in a carefully controlled and scientific environment, a lab. Wundt pioneered the method of introspection. Introspection was the first systematic experimental attempt to study the mind by breaking up conscious awareness into basic structures of thoughts, images, and sensations. Isolating the structure of consciousness in this way is called structuralism. Standardized procedures. The same standardized instructions were given to all participants. Procedures could be repeated, replicated. For instance, participants were given a ticking metronome to pace their responses, and they would report their thoughts, images, and sensations, which were then recorded. There is significance in Wundt's work. Although Wundt's early attempt to study the mind would be seen as naive, his work was significant as it marked the separation of modern scientific psychology from its broader philosophical roots. One strength of Wundt's methods are scientific. For example, he recorded the introspections within a controlled lab environment. He also standardized his procedures so that all participants received the same information and were tested in the same way. For this reason, Wundt's research can be considered for a forerunner to the later scientific approaches in psychology that were to come. One limitation is that some aspects of the research are not scientific. Wundt relied on participants self-reporting their private mental processes. Such data is subjective, and participants may not have wanted to reveal some of the thoughts that they were having. Participants would also not have had exactly the same thoughts every time, so establishing general principles would not have been possible. General laws are useful to predict future behavior, one of the aims of science. Wundt's early efforts to study the mind were naive and would not meet the criteria of scientific inquiry.